So dear students, today we are going to discuss unit number 1 of HSSC part 2, the fearless sermon, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, Khutbah Hijjatul Wida. As you have already known about this, and you have already read Khutbah Hijjatul Wida, or you can say farewell sermon, in your Islamiyat books as well. So it will be easy for you to understand what it is about. I'm going to explain it to you. First, we are going to discuss the title. This sermon, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, delivered on the 9th of Dhul Hajj in the Runa valley of Mount Arafat, at the end of his first and last pilgrimage. Now, pilgrimage is a kind of holy journey. In it, he faithfully delivered a message of Allah to lead a life according to Islamic rules. Now, as you know that in this farewell sermon, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, gave us some kind of instructions or rule set by Allah to lead a good and right life. That sermon was happened at the Mount of Arafat Valley, and it was the last sermon of Holy Prophet before his death. And in this sermon, he tried to deliver the message or convey the message to a large number of people, or to among the Muslims, so that they can lead a better life according to the rules set by Allah. Now let's discuss the theme, or you can say introduction of the chapter. The Prophet, peace be upon him, addressed some of the core universal values in the society, where those values were long forgotten and violated in the systematic basis. As you know that Muslims, or you can say people of Arab, were living a life that was not in the right path, or they were not leading a life having a right path. They were on the edge of destruction, or on the verge of chaos. At that time, Prophet, peace be upon him, addressed them, and he conveyed the message of Allah among them to lead a better life, or to make a better society in which they are living. The Prophet did not only say but transformed his society in a very short of period of time. Means he believed not only in sayings but in doings as well. So he changed the society. Although he had a short period of time, he had no time to change them, but the time he got, he utilized that time in order to change the society into a better society. He emphasized to stop the ongoing bloodshed, restore the dignity of women, and minimize the gap between rich and poor. And these were the three main points on which he was working to make a reformed society. And he was against of bloodshed. He wanted to stop the bloodshed. Next one, that he had great respect for women. That's why he emphasized again and again to respect or to give dignity or honor to women, because for him both men and women are considered equal, or according to him, in front of Allah, both men and women are equal to each other, and they don't have superiority on among each other. Next point, or the last point, is to minimize the gap between rich and poor. He was also against discrimination that was prevailing in the society at that time, because the society was divided between the two categories, or you can say status. One status was for the rich poor people, while the other was for the poor people. So both were both had different kinds of rights. Rich people were enjoying more rights as compared to the poor ones. So he wanted to end or to you can say to reduce the gap between rich and poor, because he wanted a stable and a stable society in which there is no kind of discrimination. यानी हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने खून बहाने के ऊपर के सख्त खिलाफ थे. वो चाहते थे कि औरतों की इज्जत की जाए, उनको एक मुकाम दिया जाए माशरे में. उसके अलावा वो चाहते थे कि अल्लाह ताला के नज़दीक जैसे सब लोग बराबर हैं, इसी तरह से कोई भी इम्तियाज ना रखा जाए गरीब या अमीर बंदों के दरमियान. तो उन्होंने चाहा कि ये तमाम का तमाम जो मसाइल हैं, तमाम मसाइल हैं, इनका खात्मा किया जा सके. Now I have made some key points, or you can say that I have compiled some key points of the sermon for you, so it will be able for you to understand the lecture or the unit very well. Now let's go through what the key points are. The sermon consisted on the following points. Number 1, all human beings are equal. Racial supremacy is unacceptable. Yani according to him, or according to Allah, or Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, there shouldn't be any kind of discrimination among the society. For him, or for Allah, all the human beings are equal. They are not superior to each other. तमाम लोग बराबर हैं और सबको एक ही मुकाम मिलना चाहिए. Women have rights. Restore dignity of women. According to him, the women have rights. औरतों के अपने हकूक हैं, and those rights should be given to women, or they should enjoy or those rights in the society. Number 3, forbade to take usury और इंटरेस्ट, यानी सूद का खात्मा करना चाहा कि सूद ना लिया जाए, जब रकम दी जाए उसके ऊपर सूद ना लिया जाए. He was against of usury. Number 4, beware of Satan for the safety of religion. Next point was that you should have a strong belief on Allah, and you should beware of Satan about how he can lead you, or how he can distract you to lead a good life, or to lead a life that is blissful or divine. So in order to save your religion, you should beware of Satan. यानी शैतान की हरकत से बचना है, और अगर आप अपना अकीदा या मजहब बचाना चाहते हैं तो आपको शैतान से दूर रहना है. And how you can beware of Satan, or how you can save from the Satan? When you will worship Allah. जब आप अल्लाह की इबादत करेंगे. Offer prayers 5 times a day. Fast during the month of Ramadan, and give your wealth in zakat. So he emphasized to worship Allah. अल्लाह को की इबादत करनी है, 5 वक्त की नमाज पढ़नी है, रोज़ा रखना है रमज़ान के महीने में, उसके अलावा ज़कात भी देते रहना है. In order to purify your balance, or you can say in order to purify your money. So he emphasized on these 5 points during his sermon. Now let's discuss the unit, or translate the unit. The farewell sermon. Now sermon means an address of religious instructions. Khutbah Hijjatul Wida. It is all about his last sermon for the Muslims, in which he addressed or he conveyed the message of Allah to Muslims. This sermon, now come to page number, you can say, 3 of your book. This sermon, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, delivered on the 9th day of Dhul Hajj, 10th AH, in the Urena valley of Mount Arafat, at the end of his first and last pilgrimage to Makkah. Pilgrimage means a journey to shrine or other sacred place, yani a divine journey, a holy journey. The farewell sermon is mentioned in almost all books of hadith. हदीस की सारी किताबों में मेंशन है खुतबा हिज्जतुल विदा. Sahih al-Bukhari refers to the sermon and quotes part of it. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal has given the longest and perhaps the most complete version of his sermon in his Musnad. Means that sermon was considered a very valuable sermon, or it was essential, because in that sermon Prophet peace be upon him addressed Muslim, or he conveyed the message of Allah among people. So it was considered a valuable sermon, because it had, or it still has, much importance in our religion. Muhammad ﷺ led the pilgrims from Makkah through the valley of Mina and up to the mountain of Arafat, and then stopped them in the valley of Rina. They stood in front of him silently as he sat on his camel and delivered to his sermon. हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु मक्का से चले थे और मीना की वादी भी क्रॉस की उन्होंने, फिर वो अराफात के मैदान में पहुंचे। वहाँ लोग उनके आगे खामोश खड़े थे और वो अल्लाह का पैगाम उन तक पहुंचाना चाहते थे। विद अ क्राउड ऑफ ओवर 1 million pilgrims, his voice could not reach out to all those who were present. He therefore asked Rabi ibn Umayyah ibn Khalf, who was known to have a loud voice, to repeat the sermon after him, sentence by sentence, so that everyone could hear. He asked help from another person, who was Rabi ibn Umayyah ibn Khalf, to repeat his words, or to repeat the message which he was conveying among the people, because his voice was considered very loud, and there was a crowd, a massive crowd present there who wanted to listen his message of Allah. उन्होंने हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने रब्बी इब्ने उमैया इब्ने खल्फ की मदद ली, क्योंकि उनकी आवाज़ बहुत ऊंची थी, तो वो जो बोलते थे उनको वो दोबारा से रिपीट करते थे, ताकि लोगों तक उनके पैगाम की इशाअत हो सके. Now there are some difficult meanings as well. I have already explained the meanings to you people as well. Now we will continue the paragraphs that is present on page 3, and the other paragraph is on page 4. The sermon after the sermon is as follows. After praising and thanking Allah, the Holy Prophet said, O people, lend me an attentive ear, for I know not whether after this year I shall ever be amongst you again. Therefore listen to what I am saying to you very carefully, and take these words to those who could not be present here today. He was sure about his death, or he was telling that this could be his last sermon for the people, or for guiding them. So he asked them to have good ear, or to listen him properly and carefully, in order to listen the instructions of Allah. उन्होंने अपनी वफ़ात की तरफ भी इशारा किया था कि हो सकता है कि मैं अगले साल आप लोगों में मौजूद ना हूँ और अल्लाह का पैगाम मैं आप तक पहुँचा ना सकूँ, मेरे बाद कोई नबी तो आएगा नहीं, इसलिए आज ही आप दिल जमी के साथ मेरा खुतबा सुने. O people, just as you regard this month, this day, this city as sacred, sacred means pious, pious means pakiza, so regard the life and property of every Muslim as a sacred trust. Return the goods entrusted to you to their rightful owners, hurt no one, and so that no one may hurt you. यानी किसी की जायदाद वगैरह है या कुछ, उसको उसका पैसा सही तरह पहुंचाओ. आप किसी को तकलीफ नहीं देंगे तो कोई आपको भी तकलीफ नहीं देगा. Remember that you will indeed meet your Lord. Here he is referring Lord, the God, the Allah. अल्लाह की तरफ इशारा कर रहे हैं. Lord means Allah, and that he will indeed reckon. Reckon means to take into account. You will be accountable. Your deeds means you will be accountable for your deeds. What you are doing, whether you are doing right or wrong, you will be accountable for them in front of Allah. आप खुद जवाब दे होंगे अपने अच्छे बुरे अमाल के अल्लाह ताला के आगे. sorry, Allah has forbidden you to take usury and trust. Therefore, all interest obligations shall henceforth be waived. Obligations means duties. Henceforth means from this time forward. Your capital, however, is yours to keep. Means he is emphasizing that the money you own is your own money. You will keep it. But don't take interest on that money. उन्होंने सूद के खिलाफ मना किया कि आप फ़ायदा मज़ीद पैसों के नहीं ले सकते. जो पैसे आपके हैं वो आपके हैं, लेकिन उसके ऊपर अगर सूद लगता है तो वो जायज़ नहीं है. उन्होंने उस सूद को हराम करार दिया. You will neither inflict nor suffer an iniquity. Inflict means pain or suffering. And if you are not taking any kind of interest, then Allah will save you. कि अगर आप कोई भी सूद वगैरह नहीं ले रहे तो अल्लाह ताला आपको खुद बचाएंगे. Allah has judged that there shall be no interest. Beware of Satan for the safety of your religion. He has lost all hope that he will ever be able to lead you astray in big things. So beware of following him in small things. Astray means out of correct path. He also pointed out that you are protector of your religion. So for protecting your religion, you have to be beware of Satan. Try to follow the right path instead of leading a wrong life or a life that is not according to the rules set by Allah. So you are protectors of your religion. Try to protect yourself from Satan or from his instructions. के शैतान से बचें. मज़हब की हिफाजत आप लोग खुद करेंगे. शैतान के बहकावे में ना आए. बहुत सी चीज़ों को वो आपके आगे दिखाएगा कि वो चीज़ें अच्छी हैं, लेकिन यू शुड हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग फेथ ऑन अल्लाह और ऑन योर रिलीजन. अपने अल्लाह और अकीदे पर आपका अकीदा मजबूत होना चाहिए, तभी आप अपना ईमान बचा सकते हैं. Now let's come to page 4. Next paragraph. O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to women, but they also have rights over you. Remember that you have taken them as your wives only under Allah's trust and with his permission. Means he is emphasizing to take care of women as well, to give them proper rights, because you have made them your wives or your partners with Allah's permission. So that is very important point कि आपने अल्लाह की मर्जी के साथ उनको अपना पार्टनर बनाया है या अपना साथी बनाया है. So take good care of them. If they abide by your right, then to them belongs to the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. अगर वो आपके फराइज या हकूक पूरे करती हैं और अपने फराइज सही तरह से सरंजाम देती हैं, तो आपको भी चाहिए कि इन रिटर्न आप भी उनको उनके राइट्स दें, जो कि है कि आप उनको अच्छा पहनाएं, अच्छा खिलाएं और उनके साथ सिले रहमी के साथ पेश आएं. ही इज कंटिन्यूसली एम्फसाइजिंग टू गिव डिग्निटी टू वेमेन, टू गिव देम राइट्स एंड टू ट्रीट देम विद काइंडनेस. उनको बहुत ही पोलाइट तरीके से, ये काइंडनेस के साथ आपने उनकी ट्रीटमेंट करनी है. Do treat your women well and be kind to them, for they are your partners and committed helpers. He called women partners and committed helpers. यानी वो आपके साथी हैं, आपके मददगार हैं. So women are very important in the lives of men, because they are not only their partners but they are also their committed helpers. And it is your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well as never to be unchaste. So he is giving an edge to men that the women should follow the instructions of their men or their life partners. If they you can say if they prohibit them or they restrict them to meet anyone, they should follow the instructions of their लाइफ पार्टनर्स. कि अगर किसी बंदे से मना करता है उनका मियाँ कि वो वहाँ नहीं मिलेंगी, तो उनको चाहिए कि वो अतात करें अपने खामिंद की.
Next is, O people, listen to me in earnest, worship Allah, say your 5 time daily prayers, fast during the month of Ramadan, and give your wealth and zakat. Perform Hajj if you can afford to. Acha, he told us how to lead a divine life. We should have 5 time prayers. We should have fast during Ramadan, or we should purify our money by giving zakat to poor people. And if you are rich, or if you can afford Hajj, try to offer Hajj as well. कि उन्होंने कहा कि 5 वक्त की नमाज करो, अल्लाह पे की इबादत करो, रमज़ान में रोज़े रखो, उसके अलावा ज़कात अदा करो ताकि आपका माल साफ हो. उसके अलावा अगर आप हैसियत रखते हैं तो हज पर भी जाएं और हज अदा करें. I hope you have understood this paragraph very well. Now let's move to another paragraph. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, white has no superiority over a black, nor does a black have any superiority over a white except by piety and good action. यानी किसी अरबी को अजमी पे और किसी अजमी को अरबी पर कोई फौकियत हासिल नहीं है. फौकियत ना गोरे को काले पे है, ना काले को गोरे के ऊपर है. अगर फौकियत है तो उनके अच्छे अमाल के ऊपर है कि वो कितने पाकीज़ा हैं. मीन्स ही was against of discrimination that was prevailing in the society among the caste or creed or color. So he was saying that there is no discrimination in front of Allah, and we should not discriminate people. We should treat them equally. And if anyone is superior, he will be superior due to his good actions. कि अगर वो अच्छे अमाल कर रहा है तो हम उसको अच्छे इंसान कह सकते हैं और उसको फौकियत दूसरों पे दे सकते हैं. Learn that every Muslim is a brother to every other Muslim and that Muslims constitute one brotherhood. उन्होंने भाईचारे की तरफ भी इशारा किया कि एक दूसरे के साथ भाईचारा करो, एक दूसरे के भाई बनो, so that you will be united. As you know that united you stand, divided you fall. कि अगर आप इकट्ठे रहते हैं तो आप में ताकत है, और अगर आप अलग अलग होते हैं तो आप बिखर जाएंगे. Nothing shall be legitimate. Legitimate means that is related to legal points to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim unless it was given freely and willingly. Do not therefore do injustice to yourselves. कि अगर कोई मुसलमान आपको अपनी खुशी से कुछ देता है तो ठीक है, लेकिन खुद से नाइंसाफी ना करें. He was against of injustice. So everyone should be treated with justice, और सबके साथ इंसाफ होना चाहिए. I hope you have understood these paragraphs as well. Now come to the last paragraphs of the sermon. Remember, one day you will appear before Allah and answer your deeds. Means you will be accountable in front of Allah. आप हिसाब दे होंगे अपने अमाल के. एक दिन आप रोज़े आखिरत के दिन अल्लाह के आगे पेश होंगे. Means you will appear in front of Allah on the day of judgment. So beware, do not stray from the path of righteousness after I am gone. Means he was instructing them that when he will not be there, do not lose the right path. Be on the right path. कि आप सही रास्ते पर, सच्चाई के रास्ते पर रहिएगा. अगर मैं ना भी हूँ तो तब भी आपने सही रास्ता अपनाना है. O people, no prophet or apostle shall come after me, and no new faith shall be born. Reason well, therefore, O people, and understand words which I convey to you. I leave behind me 2 things, the Quran and my example, the Sunnah. And if you follow these 2, you will never go astray. Astray means out of the right path. Apostle means preacher. Now he was continuously telling the people that there will be no preacher after him. So they should not lead a bad life. They should follow the right path. Or he also instructed them that he is going to leave 2 main things after him, the Quran and the Sunnah. You can take advice, or you can take any kind of instructions to lead a better life from Quran and Sunnah. If you follow these two, or if you read Quran or follow my Sunnah, you will be on the right track, or you will remain on the right track of life. यानी उन्होंने कुरान और सुन्नत के ऊपर जोर दिया कि अगर कुरान और सुन्नत के ऊपर चलोगे तो तुम लोग कभी भी भटक नहीं सकोगे एक बेहतरीन रास्ते पे से. All those who listen to me shall pass on my words to others, and those to others again. And may the last one understand my words better than those who listen to me directly. Be my witness, O Allah, that I have conveyed your message to your people. Now, in the last, he addressed Allah that he has conveyed the message of Allah, the divine message, in front of people, and he also witnessed them that he has conveyed the message of Allah in the right way. He also asked them to convey the message to each and every one, and to the last single person that is present in the sermon. यानी अल्लाह ताला को उन्होंने गवाह बनाया कि अल्लाह ताला गवाह रहना कि मैंने इन लोगों तक आपका पैगाम पहुंचा दिया है, और उन लोगों से भी कहा कि वो आखिर बंदे तक ये मैसेज पहुंचाएं या अपने पैगाम पहुंचाएं जो भी उन्होंने अल्लाह ताला के पैगाम की अशात की है, उस जगह पे मौजूद हर बंदे को तक वो पैगाम पहुंचना.
Okay, let's discuss question number 1. When and where Prophet delivered his last sermon? According to the Islamic calendar, Holy Prophet ﷺ delivered his last sermon on the 9th day of Dhul Hajj, and according to Georgian calendar, this last sermon was delivered in 632 AD, where this sermon was delivered in Makkah at the valley of Rena in Mount Arafat. Rena Valley is a few miles away from Makkah. This farewell sermon was delivered at the end of Prophet's first and last pilgrimage of Makkah. Question number 2. Whom did the Holy Prophet ask to repeat the sermon sentence by sentence after him, and why? In the valley of Rena, there was a crowd of over millions of pilgrims, and the voice of Holy Prophet could not reach out all those who were present there. Therefore, Holy Prophet asked Rabi ibn Umayyah ibn Khalid to repeat the sermon after him, sentence by sentence, so that everyone could hear, because he was known to have a loud voice. हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु क्योंकि ऐसी जगह पे इकट्ठे हुए थे कि वहाँ हज़ारों के करीब लोग मौजूद थे जो उनकी आवाज़ सुनना चाह रहे थे, बट इट वॉज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर हिम टू स्पीक अलाउड. देयरफॉर ही asked Rabi ibn Umayyah ibn Khalid to help him to repeat his sentences or to convey his message among the people. उनकी आवाज़ क्योंकि ऊंची समझी जाती थी, तो हज़रत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने उनको अपनी मदद के लिए रखा था कि वो जो बात करेंगे उनको वो दोबारा दोहराएंगे ताकि लोगों तक उनका पैगाम पहुंच सके. Now let's discuss question number 3. State in your own words, what did the Holy Prophet say about the sanctity of life and property of Muslim brethren? The Holy Prophet said 2 points about the sanctity of the life and property of Muslim brethren. First point. First he said, O people, just as you regard this month, this day, this city as sacred, so regard the life and property of every Muslim as sacred trust. Second point. Secondly, he said, every Muslim is a brother, or to every Muslim constitute brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim unless it was given freely and willingly. Do not therefore do injustice to yourselves. Now come to question number 4. What did Holy Prophet ﷺ instruct the people with regard to their women? The Holy Prophet instructed the people in his last sermon with regard to their women by saying, O people, it is true that you have certain rights with regard to your women, but they have also rights over you. Remember that you have taken them as your wives only under Allah's trust and with His permission. If they abide by your right, then to them belongs the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. Do treat your women well and be kind to them, for they are your partners and committed helpers. And it is your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well never to be unchaste. So here, Holy Prophet is also giving importance to women, according to whom both men and women are equal. He addressed men that they should give respect to women, because and they should be treated kindly. They should have rights, or they should be given some kind of rights which the men are enjoying in the life. And he's saying that he considers women एज पार्टनर्स एंड कमिटेड हेल्पर्स ऑफ मैन. उन्होंने कहा कि आपके साथी हैं और मदद करने वाली हैं, उनके साथ सिला रहमी दिखाई जाए. और उन लोगों का ये है हक फ़र्ज़ कि अगर आप उन्हें किसी बंदे से बात करने से रोकते हैं तो उन्हें चाहिए कि वो उनसे रुक जाएं. बट यू शुड treat them in a kind way or in a polite way, because they are your partners, and you can say that they have importance in your life. Without them, life of the man will be incompleted. Question number 5. What did Holy Prophet say about superiority of one individual over another? What it depends upon. About the superiority of one individual over the other, the Holy Prophet said, all mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black one, nor does a black have any superiority over white. The superiority of one individual over another depends on piety and good actions. Acha. According to him, there is no superiority, there is no discrimination. All the human beings are equal, and there shouldn't be any kind of discrimination, or the people should not be discriminated according to their color or creed or according to their caste. उन्होंने कहा कि ना किसी अरबी को अरबी के ऊपर फौकियत हासिल है, ना अजमी को अरबी पे, ना काले को गोरे के ऊपर फौकियत हासिल है, और ना गोरे को काले के ऊपर. अगर फौकियत हासिल है तो उसकी पाकीज़गी के ऊपर और उसके अच्छे अमाल पर. मीन्स इट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन योर piety, मीन्स on your how pure you are, or it all depends on your good actions, how you treat others, or how you lead your life. Question number 6. What did he say about Khatme Nabuwat? Answer. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, no prophet or apostles shall come after me, and no new faith shall be born. यानी कोई भी preacher or no preacher will come after him. He is the last prophet. I leave behind me two things, the Quran and my example, the Sunnah, and if you follow these, you will never go astray. So here he is saying that if you follow Quran and Sunnah, you will not be distracted, or Satan will not distract you from the right path to live a divine life, or lead a life that is blissful or according to the rules set by Allah. Question number 7. What did the Holy Prophet ﷺ ask the people towards the end of sermon? Answer. Towards the end of his sermon, the Holy Prophet asked, O people, have I faithfully delivered unto you my message? A loud murmur of assent, O Prophet of Allah, yes, arose from thousands of pilgrims, and the vibrant words, Allahumma nam, rolled like thunder throughout the valley. The Holy Prophet ﷺ raised his forefinger and said, O Allah, bear witness that I have conveyed your message to your people. Girls, I hope that you have understood all the lecture very well, and I hope you will not find any kind of difficulty, because I have explained each and everything to you to make it easy for you to understand it. And these all questions are very important related to your examination point of view. So try to memorize them by your heart, and I hope that you will learn it very quickly, because we have short period of time, and we have to finish our syllabus in time. So I will be back with the lecture in the next week, and I hope you will enjoy good health. Till then, take care of yourself and study well. Allah Hafiz.